Remnant 2 was one of the best surprises of the year for me, mainly because it is the sort of game I usually avoid, but in this case, it had me chomping at the bit for more as soon as I had finished the campaign. There was just something about Remnant 2 that clicked with me in a way that other games of its ilk failed to do. So to say I couldn't wait to see what plans Gunfire Games had to expand Remnant 2 in the future would have been an understatement. That future has now just arrived in the form of The Awakened King, the first piece of DLC for Remnant 2. And there is a lot here that fans of the base game, like myself, are going to enjoy.
Here they come.
The Awakened King is not a traditional piece of DLC in that it follows from the ending of the main game. It is actually a one-shot story that can be accessed through the game's adventure system. As with all adventures in Remnant 2, your character carries over skills and weapons from any previous campaigns. So chances are, like me, you will walk into this one feeling confident and well-equipped. That confidence, it turns out, was well earned, but still tested with what the Awakened King has to offer. The moment-to-moment action will test players, but no more so than the main game. It is the boss battles that will get quite vicious and nasty, and while none of them reach the frustratingly rage-inducing final boss from the campaign, they did cause more than a few instances of swearing on my behalf. That said, they were both inventive and fair battles. I only had myself to blame for dying. It was never the game cheating. The setting for the Awakened King is perhaps a little bit disappointing if I'm honest. There are hardly any new areas, it's all stuff we've seen before. Just about every asset is from the main game. There seems very little that has been created for the DLC. I totally understand why this path was taken, and it has allowed Gunfire Games to make an interesting main map that winds around in on itself in interesting ways. But I would be lying if I said I didn't want to see a fresh location, something we haven't seen before. There are even some reused event battles, like the King's Feast, from the base game, so that felt a little bit annoying, a little bit cheaty. There are a few new enemies to take on though. There's a gigantic bloke wielding a scythe, a couple of annoying and poisonous swamp creatures, and a type of witch that feels it's more appropriate to hit you with a giant sea anchor than a spell. They are perhaps the most notable of the new bunch, and lead the way when it comes to new content. The biggest draw for the Awakened King, apart from the new boss battles of course, is the new archetype, the Ritualist. This magic-wielding warrior is the perfect companion for players that like damage over time effects and complementing their element-based attacks. The Ritualist uses a few different spells to enhance, add and impact these different elemental effects, making it a great choice for group control. As with all of the game's other archetypes, it will take a while before players work out which of the archetypes it meshes with best. But for now, I'm having a blast with this skill set, which feels very different from the other classes in the game.
Bleeding won't stop.
There is perhaps one other issue that is also worth mentioning. Some of the dungeon design feels a little cramped and therefore a little frustrating when it comes to enemy encounters. In the sewers especially, it is way too easy to get surrounded by a swarm of enemies, with little warning or chance to escape. This is not something I found in the main game, so it is a touch annoying to have it pop up in the expansion. It could be the random nature of some of these dungeons that caused it, and if I were to play through another time, it wouldn't be so annoying. But I did play through the DLC twice, and came across instances of it in both playthroughs. So in the end, the Awakened King is good, but is hardly a must-buy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time with it. The boss battles were great, and the Ritualist is a super fun class to take into battle, but there is nothing here that the main game hasn't done just as well. In essence, it's just more Remnant II, which for many of us is all we need. But for those looking for a fresh take on the formula, well, perhaps the next bit of DLC will hit that mark. It is hard to be upset though. The gameplay is still wonderful, and it offers a unique thrill that no other game out there gives. And that in itself deserves celebrating. Special thanks to Gunfire Games for allowing us early access to the Awakened King. If you want to check out the written version of this review, head over to player2.net.au, where you can also catch our other reviews, previews, opinion pieces, podcasts, and features. Like and subscribe the video down below, it helps us out greatly, and make sure you check out the video in the top left of this screen. It all helps us fight that YouTube algorithm. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on Player 2. See ya!